Hello and welcome back to round 2. This is Methodical, and let's jump into this. So right off the start, our opening hand looks fantastic. We've got 2 lands, early ways to kill things, a lot of ways to remove things, and a Skyfisher. So basically we're hoping we're going up against some kind of like stompy list. This would be amazing. Unfortunately we see this mountain, and in my experience, this deck does have a hard time against burn in game 1. The 2 gain lands are going to help us a little bit, but this is now feeling a lot more sketchy. They would need to have a fairly creature-heavy hand for us to have a chance. So we're going to do the best we can to win this one, basically off of gaining as many life as we can. Drawing a 1-drop there is great. Although it turns out Searing Blaze, really good card against what we're doing. The Skyfisher allows us to bounce land and replay it to gain life, since we didn't have a land drop anyways. And we gotta try and get in as much damage as we can, because we are not feeling that great. Unfortunately, not drawing a land there means we're starting to fall quite far behind. But it looks like we don't have to wait too long to find out how this works, because it turns out he had an amazing burn hand and was able to just crush us in game 1. Thankfully, we have some pretty good sideboard tools for this matchup. So, let me just pull over our sideboard here. So you can see we brought in the 2 Standard Bears. It's not amazing, but usually you just use it to eat 1 burn spell, and that's usually good enough. 2 Lone Missionaries is amazing. Gaining the life, being able to possibly replay it multiple times with the Skyfisher. Circle Protection Red is a given, and the 2 Prismatic Strands. What we want to take out is we didn't see any creatures the first time, so we took out all of our journeys. Just because we know we have enough burn to kill his guys generally. So these would basically be dead. The burn can at least go face to try and win us the game. We took out both Screeches. It's just generally going to be a little too slow. And the 1 rally. One option is to keep the rally in and try and race. But we're instead just going to try and go on the gain as much life as possible, get out a Sentinel, and become the Monarch. And basically try and win off of drawing enough cards to make his burn irrelevant. So, our opening hand does have the Sentinels in it, which does mean we're going to be going on the value plan of just trying to draw as many cards as possible. Unfortunately, this doesn't have any life gain in it, so it is a bit of a risky keep. But with we have enough lands, we have a Thraben Inspector to redraw, we have a Lightning Bolt and a Galvanic Blast to kill any creatures he plays. So it is a pretty good hand. We would have liked to have life gain as the one thing it's missing. Here we play the other land because we want to try and draw clues as much as possible, and we don't really have a turn 3 play anyways for 3 mana. So this is fine. We'll be able to have 4 mana for the Sentinels. We left up our burn hoping he'd play a creature, but unfortunately he did not. So we're just going to jam and become the Monarch, and hope that the cards we draw will get us some life gain or some kind of protection effect. Unfortunately, drawing another Sentinels is a little unfortunate, but Standard Bearer here. And finally, the Lone Missionary. This is what we've been waiting for. We will want to basically just try, play. I would like to play the Standard Bearer first, just protect the Missionary in case we're able to bounce it later, but since we're down at 10 and he had mana open with a number of cards, the Missionary is the better play just to give us the best chance of living another turn. And we are looking to try and win this next turn, since we already have 7 points of burn in hand, and we are hitting him for 6. We don't burn him right away, because we're worried that maybe he was slow rolling us. Maybe he has enough burn to kill us with 3 cards. So we play the Standard Bearer first, just to protect us. and basically I'm waiting for him to cast a spell that has to target it, which is right there before I go face. Did we have to do that? Probably not. It's not likely. He probably would have killed us if given the opportunity, but it's a little safer just to make him play against that first. And so we managed to win game 2. So going into game 3, we now will have the card advantage, but he will have the play. This is a slightly risky keep since it's a 1-lander, but we have the Circle of Protection. So basically, as long as we can get this down, we are feeling really good, and drawing a Windscarred Crag sets us up perfectly. I just play it right away because I want to get this online as fast as possible. It does give him a full, basically he can go as many burn cells as he can, but at this point, yeah. Here, I had missed that he had put the Rift Bolt, like suspended it. Basically, since I knew he was going to be having to cast this turn, it would have been better for me to play the Thraben Spectre, leave up 2 mana, 1 to stop the Rift Bolt and 1 to stop his next play. Thankfully, that doesn't hurt me too much, since he's only got a couple cards in hand. But now I have to be a lot more careful since I'm down at 5. I need to leave up land, or multiple mana every turn from this point on, just to make sure I don't get burned out. I have lots of burns, so I'm getting pretty close to being able to kill him. And the Strands here is actually fantastic. At this point, even if we don't draw a land next turn, we just discard the Prismatic and start holding back 1 Thraben Spectre, so that is one additional way of blocking a spell. I'm mostly worried at this point that he's trying to save up enough spells to get through the Circle of Protection and kill us from 5 life. But this is starting to look pretty promising because lands are great, and not drawing a land there is fine since we get to discard the Prismatic. Here, I could choose to leave 1 untapped, but I felt like with 3 mana, I don't think he can kill us with only 4 cards. This is going to make things a little more annoying because I do not want to lose a single life, since that would then leave us open to a Fire Blast. So this basically means we're going to be losing 1 mana a turn for the rest of the game. Drawing a land is really good, and Burrow Garrison is even better. Does mean we have to discard, but hey, we're glad to be getting our lands to leave up more Circle of Protection activations. At this point, we are basically just trying to burn his face while this is on the stack, just in case he tries to burn us and we want to Prismatic Strands. We did it that way just so that way we have more mana available and we want to see his reaction. Yeah, that's basically it. So we know we have nearly lethal. We don't want to take a single damage, so while I could Circle Protection, I feel it's better just to get the Prismatic Strands out of the way. And this Thraben Spectre by itself is going to be lethal, which means he will need to spend a burn spell on it. And it keeps up as much mana as possible in case he tries to do any instant speed shenanigans at us. If he goes for enough at us immediately, we can actually just burn him out as well. So here, he does burn our guy, but I decide it'd probably be better just to leave the lightning bolts until a bit later. We won't be able to cast it this turn. And during upkeep, I just go for it, and it turns out it works. He would need to have multiple burn spells. Like basically the way I thought about it is there's no 2 burn spells that he could have that would be able to kill me here. Because he would need to have 1 burn spell to resolve before he can even draw a card if he has... Actually, I've lost the name, but does 1 damage and draws a card. I'm pretty sure he must be stuck on that because since I haven't let any damage go through, he hasn't been able to cast that at all during this. I'm pretty sure he was trying to cast the Searing Blaze targeting a Thraben Spectre, so that way he would do 1 damage, and then he was going to ping it for 1 more and draw a card. we were able to stop all that and manage to take round 2. So yeah, you're welcome to join me for round 3, and see you there.